from a desert base. Truth don't hide, it just waits for a face, for a face. Big footprints in a pine-slick path. Bob Lazar files with a government laugh. Court dates lost in a sea of red tape. We ain't 10-4, we just stay awake. True crime tales in a borrowed voice. We speak for the silence, not by choice. Got boots on the dirt and eyes on the skies, digging up stories they hoped would die. Might, truth, and thunder, we don't back down. With a Bible in the glove box and boots on the ground. Aliens, lies, and backroom deals. We break that silence, 'cause the soul feels real. Military broadcast, midnight run, teaching vets how to speak what the war's done. From trigger pulls to microphone stands, from combat zones to healing hands. Public records, missing names, unsealed files, classified games. We chase what's buried, not what trends, and we pray for light at the truth's deep end. Might, truth, and thunder, we don't back down. With a Bible in the glove box and boots on the ground. Aliens, lies, and backroom deals. We break that silence, 'cause the soul feels real. Some chase fame, we chase the facts. Some fold quick, we read the tracks. It ain't paranoia if it's always been there, and we ain't scared to lay it bare. Into the storm. We ain't perfect, but we were made for this form.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Into the Weeds podcast here on Military Broadcast Radio. I'm Amber.
And I'm Alora.
And we have Nancy from the Toll Podcast with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for actually coming in, because this is a special case to me. It's personal, and so I'm glad you're here to bounce stuff off of.
Absolutely. Girl, I have questions.
Okay. Good.
That's why we need a journalist up on panel, because you have the right questions to ask.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I do.
So for people who don't know, Michelle Crawford, I actually knew her, and we'll get into it, but she's been missing since 1999, and she's the first spotlight that we're doing on Lawton, Oklahoma, because that's where she went missing from. That's my hometown. And we have Michelle's case, and then we have Athena Hogan's case. We have Kimberly Damberville, who is her own case all on her own, and then the Lawton serial killer. So we're going to try and just go through it all and figure out these cases.
You got a list like Springfield, Missouri has a list.
Right?
Right?
Yeah. Lawton, Oklahoma is definitely, I believe that Paul Harvey at one point said that Lawton is the one place you can commit murder and get away with it.
Military town. There's a lot of people in and out in a hurry.
Yeah, most definitely. So, yeah, so let's get into it. Nancy, thank you again for being here. And
I love this.
Yeah, thank you. And there's just so many missing cases all over, and every day, there's probably hundreds of people that go missing. And this is just one in the huge pool of them. So,
and in light of all the stuff that's coming out right now, it's so scary, right? Absolutely. Like, is this a crime of opportunity, or is it something bigger? It all goes through our heads now.
Yes.
Yeah. With Michelle's, I think she's just her own situation.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know for sure. So we're gonna get into it and see what happens. Okay. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about Lawton, Oklahoma first. So Lawton is down in the southwest part of Oklahoma at the base of the Wichita Mountains. And it's an hour north of Wichita Falls, Texas. And so there's the mountains are big and granite. You know, you go from plains to big rocks just sticking up out all of a sudden. You know, Oklahoma is pretty much flat land, plain land. But we have the Wichita Mountains and we have the Arbuckle Mountains, and they're not very far away, like about an hour or so away from each other, or a little bit over. But yeah, Joy's been to the Wichita Mountains. They are beautiful.
They are pretty.
And yeah, so we've got the Wichita Mountains, and then this land is also land that the Kiowas, the Comanches, and the Apaches were a part of. This was their land. This was the Kiowa land, the Comanches, and the Apaches. And Kawana Parker, who actually we have a picture of right there that Millennial did, he was the last Comanche chief. And lore is that I'm related to him, but as far as ancestry.com goes, no, I'm not. But also Geronimo that's where Geronimo was arrested and and buried.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And Geronimo, actually, if you go into the museum, the bars are bent, and he was incarcerated at 80 something years old, I believe, at that time. And they say that he bent the bars. Now, we don't know if that's true or not, but that's the folklore.
But the lore is fun, huh?
Yeah. And you can see where he paced back and forth in the cell.
Mhm.
So,
I'd be doing the same thing if I were locked up.
right. So, and Geronimo was the Apache chief. So, and like I said, he's buried there, but there was also an event that happened in this area, and there's this cliff.
Good.
Oh, okay.
Just my-
There's this cliff called Deer Leap, and supposedly Geronimo rode his horse off of that cliff, and that's where we get Geronimo.
Oh, interesting. That's a ton of history.
Yeah. Oklahoma, Lawton in particular, has a lot of history.
A lot going on.
Yeah.
Here in Springfield, we have Brad Pitt and Cashew Chicken.
I think also the creator of SpongeBob is from Lawton as well, or around that area. Yeah.
He was born on the Fort Sill base.
Yeah. So Lawton itself was founded in 1901 after the land rush, and people literally lined up and rushed in and claimed whatever land they wanted. So we used to reenact this as kids. So every year when it came time to celebrate the land run, we would all dress up in like prairie outfits and run and find our stake of land.
Did this include the Native Americans' pre-existing land that they were taking over?
Yes, of course.
Doesn't sound too great.
Of course.
In retrospect, so I just feel like we should point that out.
Yes. And I mean, that's the history of the land. I mean, it's constant, back and forth between the two. But it's basically, have you guys ever seen the movie Far and Away with Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise? Mm-hmm. Where they run and get land? That's what the land run was.
Interesting. All the kids got their little stake of land there, huh?
Yeah, it was fun.
Pretend.
So then we have Fort Sill, and Fort Sill basically made it what it is. It's the leading artillery base for the Army in the U.S. And I remember as a kid in the 80s growing up and always being told that there is a nuclear missile pointed straight at us at all times.
Wow, that'd give me anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we used to do like drills, like the Russians were coming, and we would hide underneath our desks. So yeah, that's the kind of climate I grew up in. So
Interesting.
yeah, so we've got soldiers and their families rotating in and out constantly, new faces all the time, employment, training, and movement. There's movement all over Lawton. So, but there's always a steady flow of people coming in and going out. But in the middle of all that, you have the Lawtonians. And the Lawtonians are people like me. People who were born and raised there, families that go back generations. My mom was born in Comanche County Memorial Hospital. Her mother was as well, and I was as well. So,
Wow.
yeah. And then they eventually ended up misdiagnosing my brother and causing him to pass away at an early age. But they were held responsible, thankfully.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah. They diagnosed him with bronchitis when he actually had cancer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they didn't even do an X-ray. So,
Wow.
but yeah, that's the hospital that I was born in, and so were my mom and grandma. And then I graduated from Lawton High School. I went to Central Junior High and Wilson Elementary. And I have cousins, aunts, and uncles all over the place there in Lawton. It's just my hometown. So, but it is a really interesting town full of folklore and ghost stories and rumors. You know, I mean, growing up in a predominantly Native American centered area, we grew up with Bigfoot and the deer lady and the little people and all that stuff. So, and white owls being notoriously scary. So yeah, that's how it is. And also you have people from all over the world coming there because of the military base.
Right.
And then you've got cowboys, you've got Native Americans, you've got gang members, you've got all kinds of different things in this small little town. It's actually like a medium-sized city, but it feels more like a small town.
Did you have organized crime there? Outside of the gang?
Yeah, we did. And
Mostly her family.
no,
No, they
Rude. Oh, Laura.
they weren't organized.
organized. Just crime.
They weren't organized.
No organized, just crime.
There is a couple of families there who have some things going on, but we're not going to mention that in this one.
I was just trying to get a feel of the town itself, you know, when we talk about a disappearance, like what kind of rivalries there were.
Yeah, so
City.
it's scary. I'll just say that I grew up knowing that people were killed and dumped in the Red River or in wells along that area. Yeah, there's a lot of it. It's a great place to be from, not a great place to live, is what I've always said. You know, because of the history and everything, growing up in it, it's pretty cool. But as an adult, reflecting back on it, it's a lot different.
Well, that certainly doesn't seem to be the kind of circles that Michelle ran with.
No, definitely not. No, definitely not. And in 1999, in the middle of all that, Michelle went missing. So we're actually going to look at a map real quick of Lawton.
Oh.
So now in the Athena Hogan case, we actually took everybody on a trip from my house, or no, not the Athena Hogan case, the Lawton serial killer. When we first did it, we took a trip from my childhood home to where all of the women who had actually been the victims were living. So, and it was only like 6 to 8 blocks, something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So this is Lawton, Oklahoma. All of this right here is Fort Sill, And then up in here, you get into the mountains and stuff. But this is Lawton. And so I'm going to bring it in here. And I've got all of the points in Michelle's case labeled. So we're going to go right here first. Hold on, sorry. Where'd it go? Yeah. Okay. So this is gone, but this was my childhood home.
Okay.
Do you recognize the red truck?
Yeah, that was my stepdad's truck. So this had to have been.
This is old.
This is very, very old
he died in,
pictures.
2005.
Yeah, and this house got torn down in 2016, I believe. So, so this is 1508 Northwest Ferris, and what I would do is I would go out this back gate, and I would come down this alley. And I would walk down this alley, and right here, there was this business. I don't know exactly what business it was, but I was going to Michelle's house right after one of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies came out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember running past this fence and this property because there was all this like sharp metal out there. And I just remember having this, this daydream or whatever, this vision of Freddy Krueger coming out and attacking me in the alley.
That's what happened to me. I was walking out and I saw my reflection in a piece of glass and I screamed. Those movies.
Right?
I remember you made me watch it as a punishment when I was a kid. And so actually, like, speaking of your brother, he went to hospice, and when you're at the hospice, they had like a bin of like movies that they said you could take.
Yeah.
And one of them just happened to be like the original It the Clown. And you were always afraid of it, and I was afraid of everything. And so I was like, by extension, afraid of what I knew you were afraid of. So I remember you forced me to watch it.
Yeah.
And then I was walking every morning. I would walk to school, or not walk to school, but walk to the school bus, which was probably like little under a mile away, and I'd pass by all these drains and I'd freak out. I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna walk a little faster past the drain.
Yeah. And sorry guys, I'm not looking at your comments right now because I've got these words that I've got to speak.
But much love to you all.
Yes. So what I would do, like I said, I would walk down this alley, and then I would come down here and let's go. Okay. So I would come right here, and this was 1407 Euclid. And I think we can get on the street view. Okay.
There we go.
So this was Michelle's house when she was a kid. The funny thing is I also knew another family that lived in this house before Michelle did. It was a girl named Angela and her two brothers, Larry and Matthew, I believe. And Michelle and Angela both had their bedroom right here. And there was a door that went straight from their bedroom outside. And they had a huge walk-in closet, and there was a Jack and Jill bathroom in here. But
that's never good to have a kid right where the door is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what was the age difference between you and Michelle?
About maybe like, I would say less than a year.
Oh, okay. So you're in the same grade.
Yeah. And I ended up getting held back in the 4th grade, so she ended up graduating before me. But yeah, we were around, I think, within a year apart.
Okay.
So
they had a door that led out from their bedroom to the outside.
Yeah, from Michelle's bedroom to the outside. But this is not where she actually went missing. This is not the house she was living in when she went missing.
Oh, okay.
So I was just kind of getting you guys acquainted. Yeah.
Yeah. And that you grew up together and you grew up on the same area. And that's how probably school and
correct.
You were friends.
Correct. So now we are going to watch a video that talks about Michelle's disappearance. And this was done 6 years ago. And then we'll come back and talk about it. So let me actually remove this because the sound won't be on there. Okay. Stops. Yeah, I gotta redo it.
I'm getting a headache from these already.
I'm sorry.
My glasses and my headphones don't mix, and then I'm also getting like sensory overload because it's too loud. So.
Sorry. Okay, here we go. And if you can't hear it, let me know.
All last week, we put a spotlight on missing persons cases in our series Mayberry, Texas. In a special report tonight, Jaron Spoor and photojournalist Peyton King are taking us to the north side of the Red River.
It's been almost 20 years since the disappearance of a woman from Lawton, and as Jaron Spoor reports, her family hopes for more answers.
They sure do. Since Michelle Crawford disappeared, all the leads have been exhausted, but investigators and her family refuse to give up on at least finding closure. Michelle Crawford was a 21-year-old English major at Cameron University in Lawton, hoping to one day be able to impact lives as a teacher. Those who knew her say she was a straight-A student, liked by everyone, and would have been a great teacher. On June 8, 1999, Michelle came home after work to her parents' house on the 2200 block of Northwest Lincoln Avenue to tell them she was going to hang out with a friend. Her dad, John Crawford, did not want to be on camera, but had this to say.
She had gotten off from work, and we were both getting off of work ourselves, and Cassie was getting ready to go to bed. It was about 9 o'clock, and I was still up on my computer, and Michelle came in and said that she was going to go to a movie with a friend.
When they woke up, she wasn't home, but her parents didn't think anything of it because she sometimes would get up early and go work out at the gym. When she hadn't returned home by that evening, they knew something was wrong.
Kathy actually had gotten home, and her employer had called to find out if Michelle was there because she hadn't shown up for work. And that's when we knew there was a problem.
About right here in between the Best Western Hotel and the Montego Bay Apartments is where Michelle Crawford's car was found. Now, all the doors were locked except for the driver's side door, and all of her personal belongings were found in the back seat. And that is why John believes foul play was involved.
We think that something happened to her, arranged, but we don't know who, what, when, or where. We just know she's gone. And we've never seen her again or heard from her again. She had an account with money in it in the bank. That's never been touched. Her credit cards have never been used. Her ID's never been used. Her social security number's never been used. As far as we know, she just vanished.
Mike Nance is the regional program specialist for the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System, and he was a former homicide investigator. He said,
Okay, so basically that tells you pretty much what happened. Hold on, sorry. Okay, so I also forgot to let you guys know that Michelle had had open heart surgery when she was a baby. And one of the things that we bonded over was the fact that I had open heart surgery when I was 4. So I remember I have a very distinct memory of us sitting in her big walk-in closet and showing each other our scars.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah.
How old were you when you did that?
Probably around 7 or 8.
That's a real bonding moment.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. And my parents got divorced. So I would go back and forth for the summers with my dad in Springdale, Arkansas. And then I would come back to Lawton. And I even went to school in Springdale sometimes. So I kind of lost contact with a lot of my friends until high school. And then I went from 10th to 12th grade at Lawton High School. And I had classes with Michelle. And I know a lot of people who knew Michelle. I just haven't been able to get anybody to talk to me about her, or Mandy Raitt for that matter. So
Why?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I have a ton of friends on Facebook, and I've put out there several times, and even in the Facebook group in Lawton,
Uh-huh.
for people to talk to me about Mandy or Michelle or Athena. And I've gotten a couple of people say a few things, but they don't want to be on camera. They don't want to be quoted, things like that. So
Have you specifically reached out to anybody?
I have tried very hard to reach out to her parents. I've been trying to do that at least since 2016 or 17, because that's when I found out that Michelle had been missing. I didn't know that until then.
Are
Yeah.
her parents still alive now? Because
Yes.
oh, they are. Okay, good.
Yeah. As far as I know, I mean, that was 6 years ago. So
Unless something happened super recently.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I haven't heard anything. I didn't see anything online or anything about them passing.
Well, even in that piece, he didn't want to be on camera, so
Yeah.
he didn't want to be quoted on camera. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? We saw pictures of him and we heard his voice, but he didn't want to talk on camera.
Yeah. Yeah. No. And I understand that, especially since they've been doing it since 1999. But I couldn't, for some reason, I couldn't find all of the videos that I've seen before. So I don't know what's going on with the internet, but I think it's getting scrubbed. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Let's get into this. Let's see. So let's say hello real quick. Thank you for being here, New Orleans lady. Enjoy and Exotic Prairie. Okay.
Hello to everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. This isn't our typical stuff, so we appreciate those who stuck around.
Yeah. And Sketty Nona. I like that name. Occasionally classy. And Elena Shannon. And Renee, maybe? Renee. Yeah. Sorry.
It's kind of hard to read off the screen.
It really is. Okay. So let's get to the night in question. Okay. So let's bring the map back up and let's get off of that. At the stage. Okay. So Michelle's home was right here. What was it? Okay. Sorry, I forget that we have to keep bringing it back in. Okay, so 2219, and I believe that was Lincoln. 2219 Lincoln Avenue is where she was living with her mother and father. And she was going to Cameron University, which I forgot to put on the map. Well, it's right there. Okay. Cameron University is here. And then, so Michelle went from her house to the crime scene. Now, okay, so June 8th, 1999. Michelle is 21 years old. She's living a normal life. She's working at Gibson's. It was a big shopping center. No, it was
a department store.
Yeah, department store, kind of like Walmart a little bit. My brother actually got banned from there for stealing comic books.
Oh my goodness.
When he was like 10. So, yeah, she was working at Gibson's, but she was living her normal life, like we said, and then she had no plans except for she was going to go to the movies. Okay.
And I think it's important to talk about her physical features because she's a very pretty girl.
Oh,
she had long blonde hair and she weighed 125 pounds. Mm-hmm. So she's a petite person. 5'3".
Yes. And yeah, that's her.
21. Yeah.
Enlarge it all?
No, I can't enlarge it. But yeah, just look her up. You'll be able to see lots of pictures of her. So yeah, she was blonde hair, blue eyes. She had a surgical scar in the center of her chest, and 2 surgical scars on her abdomen from open heart surgery when she was an infant. And she was possibly wearing denim shorts and black open toe sandals. She was 5'3", 125 pounds. And like you said, she had blue eyes and blonde hair, and very, very quiet, very meek and mild, but super, super kind. So,
And smart. She was on a full ride scholarship. She was an English
yes.
major at college. And so you're talking a straight A student who isn't a troublemaker. It sounds like she checked in with her parents. She lived with her parents and sounded like she kept them updated on what she was doing in her life. You never know. I mean, there's always secrets, but she sounded like a good person who just wouldn't run off. So I'm sure that really alarmed people in her life.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I mean, I don't see her being involved in any bad elements, using drugs or alcohol or anything like that. The only thing that I could see her being involved in is dating a GI, a soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, in military towns and in Lawton, I witnessed people as young as the 6th grade dating GIs and things like that.
Oh.
So that's a whole problem in and of itself.
I'd be beat ass.
Yeah, me too. But that's the only thing that I could see her getting wrapped up in, really, honestly. That's like, I mean, because there's a lot of meth, there's a lot of gang activity, but she wasn't around any of that stuff, wasn't doing any of that stuff. So, yeah, she was just pretty much an innocent, young lady that was just living her life and doing her thing. So, she was at the 2219 Northwest Lincoln, and it was around 9 p.m. Her parents were winding down for the night. Her dad was still up on the computer, and her mom was getting ready for bed. Michelle comes in and says she's going to a movie with a friend. That's all she says. I'm going to a movie with a friend. That's it. That's the last confirmed conversation or sighting of Michelle.
And they don't know what friend, and they don't know what movie.
Correct. And they don't know what movie theater. But this one, so right here, I believe.
Right in between.
Yeah, right in between her home and the crime scene, or at least where her car was found, is the Vasca Theater. Now, it's on the same road that I lived on, Ferris Avenue. And so we'll just look at it real quick.
Is that the one that has all of like the murals
Yeah.
painted on it?
Yeah, it is.
So, do you think it's possible that she might have had no plans to the theater? Maybe her parents are more conservative and she thought that they might just not approve of her meeting up with a guy of some sort. Maybe it's not anything nefarious, but
I'm assuming that. That's what I'm assuming, but I don't know. So
Yeah.
that's the Vasca. I grew up going to that theater. I watched my first movie in there, E.T., which I was scared of.
not
And
as scared as I was.
oh, yeah, definitely not as scared as she
I
was.
feel like we talk about that all the time.
Yeah, but yeah.
Real quick, very off topic, but so the picture of your house was so old that your stepfather's truck was in it. But on this one, they have Kung Fu Panda 4. So it doesn't seem
Yeah.
like they're at all updated.
Yeah, it's definitely not updated.
But this is like a lot more recent than the one by your house.
Yeah. So, and it's just a couple of blocks down the street.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Look
So,
at this car action. Sorry, and that's off topic. I
No.
just
so anyways, that's what I think happened. I don't know, but I think that she went to the Vasca, or at least that's what she was planning on doing.
or what she insinuated.
Yeah, or she insinuated that. Yeah.
Again, I'm
So,
not saying that in any kind of like victim blamey thing, but we've all had times where we thought our parents wouldn't approve of something and we stretched the truth or something.
Yeah.
Not saying
Or
it's
when
good.
she's 21 and she's just like,
Yeah.
no, I'm going to the movies with a friend. Like,
Get out of my business.
Yeah,
When I
yeah.
was 21, I did that, but now I have Life 360 and she can watch me wherever I go. I grew out of it once I realized I could have some bad stuff happen to me.
Yeah. Okay. So I did turn the map around a little bit and it gives us a little bit of a different view. So, yeah.
so where was her house?
Right here. This was her house right here.
Her house. Okay.
Yep.
And where's the theater?
And the theater is right here. So there's not,
Almost a midway point.
yeah, I'd
Just a
say
little
like
out of
maybe
the-
2 miles at the most or something like that. Not very far at all. And then, so we get over here. So she would have gone this way. The Museum of the Great Plains is actually a really awesome museum. I grew up playing in there and pretending like I was all kinds of people.
I think I remember. It's right next to Prairie Dog Park. Or,
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
mhm.
Yeah. I think I've been in there before.
Yeah. So this is the crime scene. Okay. So this is Montego Bay Apartments.
Okay.
Now,
And it was found between that and the Best Western, right? Her car.
correct. So I'm assuming that this might be the Best Western because these are the apartments. This
Okay.
is the casino.
Oh,
that-
I think it was found like right in the middle there, like
Somewhere
right there.
probably around here is what
Parked
I'm
right there.
assuming.
so her parents find the car.
Yes,
And
which
my
is
question-
interesting.
Very interesting. And my question is because as a parent for 5 days, that's all I would be doing.
Mhm.
Yes.
How far away is it from the movie theater to this where the car's found?
So let's go back. I don't want. Okay. So we've got the movie theater here
Okay.
to right here. So I'll just tell you, since I lived close to Vasca and my sister actually lived in Montego Bay Apartments at the time,
Oh,
in
okay.
1999.
Wow.
So how far away?
So I would say it was probably a good 5 to 6 miles, but I used to walk from my house over here at the Vasca or over here next to the Vasca
Over to
all the
crime
way
scene.
over there to the crime scene. I would
Wow.
walk over there.
Okay.
Different
So if
timing.
I'm a parent, I'm having myself and everybody I know drive, right?
Yeah.
Driving around 5 miles isn't that far when you're talking about trying to find a car for a missing person. And I'm just wondering if it was, and I would go to the casino, right? I'd be going around the casino.
Well, I don't know if the casino was there at that time. I don't think it was.
Oh, well, that's even better, I guess, because it leaves an open space. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking 5 miles isn't that far to have a team in cars to go look. And so I'm wondering if it was there the whole time or if that had been checked and then the car shows up.
Yeah. So let me tell you, and before I get into it, hey, Maggie, I'm good. I'm glad to see you. I hope you're still in here. Maggie actually has a house in Lawton.
Oh, okay.
But her daughter actually was missing and found deceased as well. So we've been trying to help her with Brittany Phillips's case. But yeah, so okay.
I met her at
Sorry, I had to run away for a second.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Crime
Oh.
Con.
Crime. Yes, yeah,
She
she
was
was at Crime Con.
Yeah. I've met her and I have the stickers and the buttons. I've showed them to you.
Yes, and we actually went to Tulsa in December to go with her to the parade.
Yes, you did.
It was a really good experience.
Yeah, there's lots of woods near the casino. Yeah, okay, so that was actually something I was going to point out. Okay, so the crime scene. Okay, so I'm trying to put myself. Okay. I'm trying to remember.
Looks like
Trying to
there's.
orientate myself.
Yeah. I wonder when this was taken. When was Kung Fu Panda? Let's look that up.
Kung Fu Panda 4.
Yes.
So yeah, there's all this land here, and I want to say it's right here, but I could be wrong. They had like a big section for a flea market. And so my aunt would go to that flea market all of the time. So I would be there a lot. But what I was going to say about this area is you see Highway 44 here, and it's right next to the highway.
Right. And that's why I was wondering when that release date was for that movie to see how updated this was, because that was March of 2024. So a lot of those roads, in 1999 probably are different, but the highways obviously would be there.
Yeah, the highway was definitely there. Okay, so I was talking to my cousin, the one that's incarcerated, and she was saying how Montego Bay Apartments is kind of off in its own area. And I told her, yeah, one of the things that I thought about is that I believe that this is the dump site of her car. I don't believe that Michelle went missing from here.
No.
Because I believe that it was really easy to get on 44 or whatever and just go anywhere.
Sure.
So, and like I said, Wichita Falls is just only an hour away, Texas.
Mhm.
So, they could have went anywhere. Let's see. Okay. So let's see. Okay. So back in the timeline, Michelle does not come home that night, and they didn't see her in the morning, but they figured that she had just gone on to work because she would get up and go to the gym and stuff like that and work out. So they didn't automatically realize that she was missing. But then when she did not show up from work, her work called, and that's when they realized that something was wrong. So, let's see. At some point after that, her car is located, which I think was about 5 days. And it was parked, like we said, between the Best Western and Montego Bay Apartments on East Gore.
And it's crooked. It's
Yes.
not a spot. And I find that weird too, because why would you draw attention to a car? It would just draw extra attention.
Right. Right. And, honestly, I forgot also Aunt Peggy used to live in Montego Bay Apartments when I was really, really little too. Yeah. So the fact that they find her car, it's parked in between Montego Bay and the Best Western. It's parked askewed or crooked, and all of the doors are locked except for the driver's side, and her purse and all of her belongings are left in the car.
Okay, so about the car.
Yeah.
So the car is a 1986 gray 4-door Honda Accord.
Correct.
And all the doors except for the driver, except for her door that she would have been getting in, were locked. So
Correct.
her door was unlocked. And it looks like the higher end models for those Honda Accords did have electric locks. So the LX 4-door sedan and the LXI models did have electric locks.
Oh.
But I don't know what her car was, but it was 4 doors, so it could have been the sedan. And when you unlock, right, and it's just the driver's side, and then you hit it again and all the doors unlock.
Yeah.
So to me, that kind of indicates that maybe something happened while she was getting in her car. And then that was the point of entry and the point of exit, because otherwise the others would have been unlocked. It seems to me.
Yeah, but I just don't see Michelle parking crookedly like that in the.
Oh no, I'm saying somebody pushed her in and then gets the driver's seat and takes off.
Okay, I get you.
A scenario like that, then that could make sense on why just her door was unlocked. That was the point of entry and the point of exit only. I was just wondering about that.
Yeah, well, and I even thought, well, maybe she went somewhere, met somebody, and like followed somebody somewhere or something,
Mm-hmm.
and always drove with the doors locked because I do. I drive with the doors locked. And then wherever she got to, something happened and the door was only unlocked because she had gotten out of the car or pulled out of the car or something.
Yeah.
That was my thinking.
There's different scenarios there. I do think that tells a story on some level, though. But I agree, she's not parking crooked. That's
Mhm.
not part. Doesn't seem to be part of her nature. That's somebody just being silly or not thinking in a hurry, trying to get out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is Montego Bay, it's like you're seeing right here, there's this like this long area, this drive area where you can park and stuff like that. And it's so hidden back here that nobody sees anything that's going on back here.
Mm.
Like
Are
it's
they
completely removed.
secluded?
Yes.
Like somebody may have known exactly where to go or park that. And again, I wonder if it had been there the whole time or a couple of days in, it's parked there.
Hmm. And I tried to get a hold of my sister to give me some information about, like the dynamics around there. I mean, I remember when I'd go to visit her, there were a lot of GIs. There were a lot of uh, just regular people living there. I mean, there wasn't like, it didn't seem like a bad area.
Dangerous.
Yeah. So, like, one area of Lawton. Now, I'm just telling you what they're called. Please don't come after me, but I'm just telling you what they're called.
Oh boy. Oh,
They're called the POWs, and it's a housing complex for lower economic situations. Sorry, I don't even know how to phrase that at the moment. but
And
but there were a lot. Huh?
low income housing.
Yeah, low income housing. That's what I was trying to say. Sorry.
Gotcha. Okay.
Sorry. So there were a lot of bad areas. There are a lot of bad areas in Lawton, and in general, kind of everywhere is a bad area now, from what I've heard. But
Pretty rough.
yeah,
I wouldn't want to be there for too long.
And so her belongings and her purse are in the back seat. So is her wallet in the back? Was this a robbery? Because it's not what it sounds like if her purse
No.
is,
No.
but if her wallet's missing, then it could be considered, somebody after the money or whatever. But with her purse back there, and it doesn't say that her stuff is scattered either, because I
No.
put my purse back there too, on several occasions. I'll just set it back there in the back seat. So that's not out of the ordinary for it to be back there for a woman,
Mhm.
in most instances, but it doesn't say that anything's scattered and it doesn't say that anything's missing. So I was wondering about those two things because that would tell a different story than just her stuff being back there in the back seat.
Mhm. No, I agree, and I do that a lot. Put my purse in the back floorboard or whatever.
Hmm.
So yeah, yeah, Lawton is rough now. And actually, it's funny. We were there to visit, or I don't know why I was in Lawton, but I was at a hotel. Actually, it was across the street from here, in that that red topped building. I stayed in that hotel, and we went to the pool, and there was this woman who her husband had just gotten stationed in Lawton, and she was from Germany, and she kept telling me how everybody told her that Lawton is like the worst duty station to ever get. Because even going to Walmart, you get, robbed and things like that. So it's definitely rough. It's definitely a rough area. I'll just
And
say
was it in 1999? Was it as rough?
yeah. And you've got to remember back then it was also the gangs were really big in the 90s. The whole East Coast, West Coast thing.
I picked the wrong day to wear all red. Oopsie. I wear a lot of monochromatic looks. I just wanted my hair out of my face.
Actually, one of my best friends was a blood, but yeah. So,
But that was alive and real in Lawton.
yes. Very, very real. Gang activity was huge and you couldn't really escape it. It was at school, it was at the store, it was everywhere. So, yeah. Okay. So let's see. There was no money missing. Her bank account has never been touched. Her credit cards have never been used. And her social security number has never been used. She doesn't resurface anywhere. And so that's pretty much the timeline of what we've got. We know that the police spoke to her two friends that everybody knew about. They didn't have any information to offer. I would love to talk to them. If you're out there, please, please contact me.
They weren't the friends she was meeting for a movie. Like they said, they didn't know anything about that.
Correct.
And they didn't seem to know anything about a person in her life.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's no evidence of anyone else in her life other than these two friends. So, and that's kind of, Michelle, she was very quiet, very to herself.
You said
What about an ex-cop? I mean, I live in Lawton when I was little. My uncle was military and retired from Goodyear. Yeah, so we've got also, we've got Goodyear as the main employment hub, Fort Sill and Bar S, and then now the prison. So they just put a prison in there.
Oopsie.
She's got the bandana as well.
It was on accident.
Yeah.
Just wanted my hair out of my face.
Hey, Ashley, good to see you. So, yeah, I mean, this case is really crazy. And like I said, I mean, I didn't find out about it until like 2016, 17, something like that. And this was the second FOIA that I did. The first one I did was on Athena Hogan, and then I did one on Michelle, and I can't remember what was brought. There wasn't really anything other than, where is it?
So she would have been missing about 5 years before you found out, 6 years before you found out that she was missing. What was your first thought when you learned that, being childhood friends and having the scar from the open heart surgery, sharing that when you were 7 years old? I mean, there's just a special little bond that others wouldn't have had, that you two would have had. What was that like, finding that out?
It was actually, it hit me quite hard. I was actually pretty upset because I knew how sweet and kind and like quiet she was. And so for somebody like her to have been taken, I mean, she would be like the perfect person to take. I mean, she's probably not going to fight back too much. I mean, I could be wrong, but
she had a mild manner about her.
Very mild. And that's exactly what I was going to say. Very mild mannered. And so this is the only thing I got from Lawton. And it's basically just talking about what happened. And from what I was told, now it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but I was told that there was a flood in the records department at the Lawton Police Department.
I've run into that before.
Yeah. And supposedly everything from her case is gone. Mm-hmm. I don't know if the evidence is gone. But it's kind of weird because Athena Hogan happened in 1986 and Michelle Crawford happened in 1999. And I've never heard, they never told me when I asked for Athena's records about the flood for Athena's records. So I just find it a little odd.
Is there any body of water?
Oh, there's lots of bodies of water around. There's Lake Latonka, Lake Ellsworth. There's the little lake that's next to the Prairie Dog Park. Elmer Thomas Park. There's lots. And New Orleans lady keeps saying, I bet it's a dirty cop. It's totally, totally possible. And I don't know if my cousin was still on the Lawton Police Department at that time. He's since passed away. He passed away in a motorcycle accident. He was a motorcycle cop and passed away from that. But it would have been interesting to have known if he knew anything about this. I'm still trying to get a hold of some, I'm trying to meet some retired detectives and things like that in the area. And next month, I think I'm going to try and go and spend a little bit of time working on this case, the Athena Hogan case, and the Lawton serial killer case. So, but
And
yeah.
again, she was a junior at Cameron University. Michelle was
Correct.
A student. She was there on a full ride scholarship, studying to be English. Everybody said that she'd make such a great teacher, and those were her aspirations, was to be a teacher. And so this just wasn't something on everybody's radar that she would just run off or be meeting someone in secret. Of course, we never know what's happening in people's lives. And she's still living at home at 21, probably wanting some more independence, probably not telling everything to her parents. Has a couple of good friends, but you hide stuff from people when you are doing stuff, that you feel maybe meeting a soldier,
Yeah.
But just in all around her life, this did not fit for her just to go missing or to get into drugs or trouble or gangs.
Correct.
And so this is why it's so heartbreaking to have such a bright light in the community missing. And then 5 days later, her car pops up. And again, as a parent, I would have had everybody I know driving all over.
No kidding.
Looking for that car. And so 5 miles from the theater, finding that car, to me, it seems like somebody would have seen it. This is their big event in town. This 21-year-old girl is missing. Everybody's looking for this car. And so I know you said it was in an isolated area by between the apartments and the Best Western, but still it seems like somebody would have seen it within 5 days. So I wonder if it was parked there a little later. Maybe they had her in town or, was trying to find a way out. You just don't know the different scenarios that were playing out.
Yeah. And I don't know if they had like parking permits or anything for that specific apartment complex. So like a lot of them do. So I don't know.
And for it to be parked crooked, not in a spot. Why would you do that? Why would you draw attention to that car? Why would you put it in a spot and put it at an angle where people would be like, that jerk? What's that car?
Yeah.
Oh, that's on the news. Like, we've been looking for that car. That doesn't make sense either.
Yeah.
Of course, criminals are dumb, so.
Yeah. And I would say that in Lawton, they're not very smart.
No offense to anybody who's in Lawton right now.
Hey, I'm from there. I know.
Well, no, they're smart.
Yeah, that's true. And actually, the last time I went to Lawton, I had forgot where I was because I had my gimbal out and I was actually recording past Michelle's house and going up into my alley behind my house. Well, it's gone now, but we were going through the alley and I had my gimbal out. Well, we just happened to drive past somebody. They didn't like that and they stopped us before we could they actually blocked off the alley and would not allow us to get out. We knew they had a gun pointed at us. You could tell.
Oh, wow.
And they were like, hey, what are you doing? And my husband was like, shh, be quiet. And he's like, I'm sorry, ma'am. My wife hasn't been here for a while and she just wanted to get some footage of her old neighborhood and her house. You can see it's clearly been torn down.
They were not having it, huh?
They were not having it. And I just forgot, where I was, Lawton is a very scary town. So
everybody's on edge.
Yes, very much so. And
That was like Ashley Baby and me driving past Gypsy's house over the summer. People
Yes.
still, they came out and they stood on the porch, and we just, turned, backed up, but not in their driveway, like down the street. And they were on it. They were out there on the porch, and yeah, we're out of here.
Okay, Maggie's talking about some friends of mine, what part of the search, and so, okay. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Maggie. It's all good. Okay. So, and Maggie is selling her house in Lawton. It's actually very beautiful. It's a 2-story, beautiful home on Bell Avenue. So,
Just docs where she's at.
she's not there.
Oh, no. Her house is at.
She's not there. She's not living there.
Well, God forbid she wanted to visit.
Wow.
It's bland.
She left Lawton. Okay, so yeah, that's basically all I have. Oh, wait, there's one more thing that I forgot to mention. So there are rumors that Michelle is buried on some private property out there in Lawton, and I've heard that it's near the airport or the Lawton View. And so the Lawton View is a very interesting place because that's where a lot of gang activity happens.
What is that? What is the Lawton View?
It's just a neighborhood. We call it the View, and it's just churches and liquor stores on corners and chickens running all over the place. And
Why are there rumors that she might be buried in those two spots?
I don't know. I have no idea. That's just everything that I have gathered from all of the articles and everything that I've read.
Oh, so that's in actual articles. It's not just local rumor.
It was in some kind of articles. Yeah. So I read it.
Have they ever taken dogs out there?
No, because it's private property. They don't have enough for a warrant. So they've never gone out there. And I don't even know, who it is or anything. So no, New Orleans lady, she was not involved in drugs at all. Actually far from it. She's one of the people who would have definitely steered away from that whole vibe and lifestyle.
I 100% believe you, but I will say you can never 100% count anything out because
That
you
is
don't
true.
know. I'm sure that she probably wasn't, and I don't say that to defame her or anything like that, but sometimes you never know what's going on in someone's life.
Yeah, no, you're
absolutely discount it could be discounting a lead potentially.
You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. And Colton Hayes and Molly, I can't remember.
Telling you about that case.
Yeah, can you
They
talk
found-
about it?
Not a lot. My hairdresser turned me onto this case because she's from that area of Oklahoma, and it's just been ongoing for so many years. But there is just a lot of rumors and allegations about law enforcement, and they had been with a man that night, and then he showed up home and they didn't. But after all this time, it's been so many years, a set of remains were found yesterday, I think. There was a big search in this one area. And I saw a private investigator, and I think it was the one the family hired, said that it was their remains. They were doing DNA testing, of course, so it was pending that. But it seemed like he had insider information that he was pretty confident it was them. And so that poor Molly's mama's been fighting hard to get some resolution out of this. So I hope, you just. If it's got to be, I hope it's them so she gets closure, because that's tough.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, it would be wonderful if Michelle was alive. I highly doubt it. So I've often thought, because of Michelle, I've often thought about donating to Othram or something like that. They have cases that they need funding on for DNA testing, just people who have been found. And so I've thought about doing like a whole adopting one of those cases.
Oh, so they have the name, but they don't have a match. They don't know a name.
Yeah. It's an unidentified body.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about doing that in Michelle's honor.
Be a really good idea.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's about it. I mean, there's not a whole lot out there on Michelle. And I've been wanting to do it for a long time. I just felt like there wasn't a whole lot. And as you can see, we're at an hour and 4 minutes. But the main thing is that we tell her story and that people know that she existed, that she lived, and people loved her and cared about her. And hopefully one day she will be found and get justice.
She's not forgotten.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah, she's not forgotten at all. So, so this doesn't have to do with Michelle, but last week, no, not last week, the week before last, I had commented and said that I had been interviewed by a magazine. So just want you guys to know, I was interviewed by this magazine, and up until a couple of days ago, it was still a go. And then it was killed at the editing phase, or at the editor's desk, really. So it was Rolling Stone and Rolling Stone magazine, and somebody else in the Gypsy verse was interviewed as well. I'm sure she'll talk about it eventually. But yeah, and they wanted to know about the Gypstein files. That was
as it's been referred to.
Yeah, they wanted to do an article about the Gypstein files and how it's gone viral and all of the memes and everything like that. So I did try my best to represent the accurate truth, and that's probably why it didn't go through.
You know,
Thank
being a news person and a reporter for my career, I can tell you that they probably got into it, and it would have taken 4 to 5 magazines to tell the story. It's just so hard to start from the beginning and try to sum up all the craziness. And that's so unfortunate, because I had such big hopes for this. It was going to be a great spotlight for this story. And I always held my breath, because I know mainstream media, they don't have the staff to start from scratch and dig, it's hard because it's so much stuff by design.
Yeah. And I did give her a novel.
Well, you have to. Where do you even start?
Yeah, right.
I mean, I did my piece. I got it to 50 minutes and I didn't even scratch the surface. I'm like, I had no idea how I did that.
Okay, Marissa, Authram seems sketchy. Yeah, I've heard some things, and I've actually talked to a few people. I don't know if we'll actually go that route, but I'm thinking of something like that.
There's
Amber, did you? Oh no, because you had the booth. My sister, producer Pam, and I attended the Authram show.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it, and I walked through their display, but they were busy with other people when I was around, and I didn't have a lot of time. Can you tell us a little bit about what they were? No? Okay.
It was a show.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And
interesting.
And if you
a joke.
No, a show.
Oh, I thought you said a joke.
It was theater.
Oh, okay.
I would encourage people who want to know what that was like to go on CrimeCon, because you can purchase the videos from those seminars and see it for yourself. It's interesting.
Hey, I'm going to do that. I'm actually going to do that. I didn't realize you could do that.
So it's it's interesting stuff. It was just different that day. There was a different feel, I think. So I don't know.
I have heard some things, and it may be a story we dig into one of these days. I'll definitely be paying attention.
I would love to know more about that and how they got to that and all the stuff. I would love for somebody to do a feature on that.
Mm-hmm. Maggie, no, they did not. Rolling Stone did not tell me why they stopped it, but I'm assuming it's just because the mainstream media narrative still hasn't changed, and they would be first people to go against the narrative.
And not to mention, there's also a lot of like medical professionals and psychologists and stuff that have written papers on like this whole case on like Munchausen by proxy and different elements of it. And to do that, it would kind of like render all of their work kind of useless. And there's a lot of people with a lot of big egos that have a lot to lose. And, Gypsy said that the mainstream media would never turn on her. So maybe she had more of a point than we thought. But, all we can do is keep on keeping on.
Right.
So, can you please actively cover the list when the trial starts? His victims were sex workers, so it's barely gotten any attention, but the depravity of that man and that those women went through needs to be out. Yeah, and actually there is a person in our community that is working on that case. I'm not going to tell you who, because that's her thing.
Oh,
but
Long Island serial killer.
Yeah, Long Island serial killer.
Sorry, it took me a second for that to process. But yes, so many sex workers are Arabon.
Yeah.
So many sex workers are taken advantage of and all that stuff because they're seen as like disposable as less than, but most of the time you just do sex work for a period of time in your life because you're kind of down and out, you having a rough time. It doesn't make you a bad person. It just means you're in a rough spot. And it's just really sad that they're seen as less because depraved people know that they can get away with it and they're going to be seen as, well, it's a dangerous line of work anyway. You're breaking the law anyway.
Yeah. And
very sad.
Yeah, and we're going to be getting into the Lawton serial killer, and the target there was sex workers and drug addicts and things like that. And one of the women that I went to high school with was one of the victims, Mandy Raitt. So I'm actually working with a production team or whatever, I don't know, on the Lawton serial killer, but I haven't been able to get much information. So I have to actually go to Lawton and
boots on the ground.
Yeah, I got to do a lot of that. So
how many victims are associated with that? Do you know?
I believe 5 to 7. I can't remember. And supposedly, so officially it's from 99 to 2003. But a lot of people believe that it started earlier and it's still going on.
Yeah, it's the case in so many of those, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's an interesting case and a lot. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
And it just so seems to happen that I somehow find myself in all kinds of interesting situations.
Same.
Yeah, it just seems to be like, yeah, I mean, if it happened in Lawton and it was before I left, there's a chance that I pop up somewhere.
So funny.
Even if it's just dumb.
Even if it's just dumb.
Hey, I was interrogated for one of the murders. So, and that happened in 1997. I had just graduated high school when I was interrogated. No, I was still in high school. And then I went into the Army shortly after that.
How many times have you been interrogated? Damn.
2 or 3 times. I can't remember.
You're a bad.
I still remember seeing you in the interrogation room when Papa died because that lady was stupid enough to think that a 9-year-old didn't know
what was going on.
Didn't know that her mom in a metal room on a security camera in a police station wasn't weird. Yeah, after you just took me away from her. Yeah, I thought.
Yeah, that was a whole thing. But that was when my dad died. But anyways, okay, so that is all we have today for Michelle Crawford. But I hope that you guys share this out. Please call the Lawton Constitution and say, hey, who killed Michelle? Start asking some questions. And maybe if we can get down to the bottom of what happened to Michelle, maybe we can get down to the bottom of what happened to some of these other women.
Yes.
So, and
Some of them might be more connected than you think.
yeah,
And one of these people, we might even have an idea of who it is.
yeah, in the Athena Hogan case, most likely. Yeah.
And who knows if he had more.
And I've got
victims.
3 connections to that case. So, yeah, that's wild. So, anyways,
Sure, it wasn't you when you were a child.
Yeah, I was only 7 years old, girl.
You see that 11-year-old that like killed his dad over like the Nintendo Switch the other day?
Yeah, that's happened a couple of
Ugh.
times. Hey, Terry, good to see you. Okay, I guess we're going to call it a night, but I thank everybody for being here. I thank you, Nancy, so much for being here to bounce things off of. You asked really good questions that I
Yes,
wouldn't have thought
thank
about.
you.
Thanks for having me, as always. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Oh, and I see Billy Knox. Good to see you as well. So I hope that everybody has a very blessed evening and that you go out and do something good to change the world for the better. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Life is like a duck. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. Here at Military Broadcast Radio, we're teaming up with our friends at Die Tired, the veteran-friendly music band spreading strength, resilience, and mental health awareness one shirt at a time.
And check this out. Their brand new shirts feature broadcast beaker right on the breast pocket. A reminder that you can weather the storm, and you're never alone.
Shirts are only $25, and proceeds support giving veterans a voice. MBR's mission to teach veterans how to podcast and videocast. Because when our vets are talking, they're not overthinking. They're not second-guessing. Together, we stop the 22 stigma. Grab your shirt today at mbradio.us and hit the shop. Or go directly to toramerch.printavo.com/merch/dietiredband. That's toramerch.printavo.com/merch/dietiredband.
Suit up, stand strong.
Remember, we're unduckable together.
You're built tougher than the storm.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.